Welcome to part 2 of UBConstable. Previous year question. Let's look at our first question. Find 12% of 5,000. We have option A, option B, option C, or option D. In order to solve this question, all we need to do is remove the percent. That will become 12 divided by 100 times 5,000. And if I cancel out the 0, I'm left with 12 times 50. And if I do the multiplication, 12 times 50, that would give me 600. So if we look at option, we see that option B is the correct answer, which is 600. 4 gardeners with 4 land mowers mow like 400 square meter of ground in like 4 hours. So the question is asking us, how long would it take if we introduce like 8 gardeners with 8 land mowers to mow 800 square meter? So the area is double from 400 square meter to 800. So how long would it take? Is it 8 hours, 6 hours, 12, or 4 hours? From the question, the work done or the total work equal to 400 meters square, and the number of gardeners who did the work equal to 4 at the time it took them equal to 4 hours. So how long will it take if we double both the gardeners and the area? Now we need to find the team hourly rate, meaning in 1 hour, what is the total area that the 4 gardener covered. In order to find that, we can just say area per hour equal 400 meters square divided by 4 hours. If I do the calculation, that would give me 100 meters square per hour, which is the total area. Now what that means is that in 1 hour, they covered like 100 meters square. In 2 hours, they would cover like 200 meters square. In 3 hours, they would cover 300, and in 4 hours, like 400. Now we need to find out the gardener rate, meaning we need to find each gardener with their mower, what is the total area that they covered. We can write that as area per hour, that is also per gardener, equal 100 meters square divided by 4 gardener. If I do the division, I will get 25 meters square per hour. So each gardener with their mower does 25 meters square per hour. Now the next part of the question is telling us that we scale up to 8 gardeners, meaning if 1 gardener equals 25 meters square per hour, so we can say that 8 gardener would equal 8 times 25 meters square per hour. That would give me 200 meters square per hour. So together, the 8-person team mows like 200 meters square every hour. So it's double than what the 4 gardener did, because the number of gardener also increased to like 8, which is the double of 4. That's why we get 200 meters square per hour. So what that means is that in 2 hours, they would do like 400 meters square. In 3 hours, like double of that, and so on and so forth. Now we need to tackle the new area. Now what that means is that they need to mow 800 meters square at 200 meters square per hour. The time is area divided by rate. So area is 800 meters square, and the rate is 200 meters square per hour. If I do the division, that would give me 4 hours. Now, even though we doubled the area from 400 meters square to 800 meters square, we also doubled the workforce from 4 to 8 gardeners. The extra gardener exactly offset the extra work, so it still takes like 4 hours. So if we look at option, we see that option D is the correct answer, which is 4 hours. Y travel 15 km due south, then 5 km due west, then 18 km due north, then 3 km due south, then 5 km due east. So how far is he from the starting point? Is it 6 km, 3 km, 0 km, or 9 km? Let's try to visualize this problem. We have our starting point, which is 0, which is at the center of the direction, north, east, south, west. So the question is telling us that he traveled 15 kilometers south. So his net direction, or his total direction, is 15 kilometers south. Now he traveled 5 kilometers west, and his net direction, or his total direction, is 5 kilometers west. And then he traveled 18 kilometers north. Now we know that from the center to south is 15 kilometers. But in this case, he traveled north, which is 18 kilometer. So his total distance or his total direction is 18 kilometer north. Now his net vertical would be 18 minus 15. Now that gives us 3 kilometer north. Now he also traveled 3 kilometers south. So the net vertical would be 3 north minus 3 kilometers south. That would actually give me 0 kilometer. Finally, he traveled 5 kilometer due east. So y net east-west would be 5 east minus 5 west. That would give me a total distance of 0 kilometer. So if we look at our option, we see that C is the correct answer, which is 0 kilometer. So how far is y from the starting point? Now we know that it is 0 kilometer. In a class of 60 students, the ratio of boys to girls is 3:2. So we need to find how many girls are there in the class. We have option A, option B, option C, or option D. Now we need to understand what is a ratio. Well, a ratio is something which compare two or more quantities. In our case, we are trying to compare boys to girls, and we are given the ratio of 3:2. So from the question given, we have total students equal to 60, and the ratio of boys to girl is 3:2, meaning for every 3 boys, there is 2 girls. So in order to solve this, we need to add first the ratio. So if I add them, I will get 5 total parts. Next, I'm gonna do the division, which is the total 60 divided by 5. That would give me 12 students per part. Now the question is asking us the number or the ratio of girls. We know that it's 2 part. All I need to do is multiply 2 times 12. That will give me 24. Now if the question is asking us to find the ratio of boys, I can do that, which is 3 times 12. That will also give me 36. Now if I add them, 36 plus 24, that would give me the total of 60. So if we look at our answer, we see that option D is the correct answer, which is 24. Ram borrowed 520 rupees from Govind at a simple interest of 13% per annum. So what is the total amount of money that Ram should pay to Govind after 6 months to pay the total debt? Is it option A, option B, option C, or option D? In order to solve this question, we need to know the simple interest formula, which is interest equals principal, multiply rate, multiply times. So from the question given, we have the principal, which is 520, the annual interest, the rate, which is 13%. We need to convert it into a decimal format for ease of calculation, and that would give us 0.13 as a decimal value, and time equal to 6 months. We also need to convert it into a year format. So if I do 6 months divided by 12 months, that would give me 0.5, which is a half year. And we can plug in the value into our formula, which is interest equal 520 times 0.13 times 0.5, and the interest would equal to 33.80. Now in order to find the total amount, we will use this formula, which is total amount equal principal plus the interest. We know the principal is 520 and also the interest. So if you do the addition, we get 553.80. So if we look at our option, we see that option B is the correct answer, which is 553.80. So Ram has to pay 553.80, the total amount, to Govind in order to pay off his debt. If you find this video helpful, consider subscribing and like it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.